What are signs that you are going to be successful? In my 20 years of being an entrepreneur, there's a few people that stood out that I said, no matter what, I can see these people doing really well. So in this video, I'm going to show you those people and explain what can you do for yourself so you can be just like them. Let's go. Up and comer number one, this is Leo Widrich. This kid on my blog, okdork.com, was always commenting. He's always like, man, I love you, Noah. Hey, I took your advice and I did it. So he had a really great attitude and he would actually take action. He would go do things. He's not talking about doing things, he is doing those things. And a few years later, Buffer.com was founded, and many years later, it's got 85 people working there. It's over 20 million ARR, and I believe he's sold out and now has a Lambo. He went to monk school, and he's super rich, living his dream life. Now, the question is, what was Leo doing that we can all learn from? I think Leo has just a damn positive, good attitude. How are you looking at things? Generally, to be a successful entrepreneur, you're like, hey, that's broken. My positive ass attitude can go fix it. So how are you being optimistic towards the problem you're facing? Number two, have a bias towards action. This is actually one of Amazon's values. Yes, Amazon, the $2 trillion company. Bias towards action. So are you consuming content all day long, or are you creating the content and the business and the solutions that you want to see out there in the world? And Leo had a strong bias towards action. And ultimately, what I think Leo's done really well in terms of he was going to succeed regardless is that he's had a really strong internal compass. So what that means is that internally he's been saying, you know, I really want to go after this. This is really what matters to me. And I'm going to go all in all the way to make sure that happens. With Buffer, he said, I want to create enough wealth somehow through this internet stuff that's popular, and I'm going to figure out that way. After he sold out his shares on Buffer, he went to a monastery school for 2 years. Who does that? So what is your internal compass saying? Is it saying, hey, I really don't want to be an entrepreneur? Hey, what is it saying? I want to have a day job, or maybe I want to go create a food company and I've been scared of it. Go and actually dial into your internal compass. Get that really lined up for yourself and then go execute on it aggressively, which I really got to commend Leo, and I hope a lot of you guys out there copy him as well. Up and comer number two, Hadley. Sorry about your spelling your name now, but this is a guy that in 10 years, you are gonna know his name, and regardless, I think he's gonna be extremely successful. You've probably seen him on Twitter. He does a lot of these viral tweet threads. It's like, whoa, you're not gonna believe how this one person did this crazy thing. Here's 8,000 tweets about it. Maybe you like him, maybe you don't, but I like that the kid has actually found a sweet spot at the age of 22, and I think we're gonna see a lot more of him in years to come. So let me give you some stuff that he's accomplished by the age of 22 already. He graduated from Yale alum, and he hosted the Yale Entrepreneur Society, meeting people like Michael Siebel from Twitch, Kevin Ryan, Bing Gordon, super famous investor. He's apprenticed by Sean Puri, one of the famous Twitter people out there. He's grown his Twitter followers to over 50,000. Just started at Goldman Sachs doing investment banking, and he's barely 22. So what are seeds of success that we can learn from Chris for all of us, as well as for myself? He was consistent. So I am consistently seeing this guy put himself out there, and I'm like, wow, it's not just like a one-off. He put out an article, he put out one video. Anyone can do that. But on a weekly basis, this guy is doing high quality work. Especially after I've worked with Chris, what stands out for him, and this is an important thing I think for literally anyone out there that wants to be successful, is follow up. Now start practicing following up. I've got to say, Chris followed up, and as well, what he delivered blew my mind. So get out there and start noticing female, male, online, offline, what is impressive to you, and maybe even create your own impressive book. So you're like, all right, I know what impressive looks like. That's who I want to be working around. That's who I want to be learning from. That's who I want to be hiring. If you want more juicy business videos from your Uncle Noah, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I put out 3 videos every single week to help you get your side hustle or business off the ground. Up and comer number 3, I'm loving this guy. His name is Hendricks. Now, just to give you a little background about Leon, he came to the US just last year at 25. And at 22, he sold a dropshipping business for over $500,000. So Jeremy, our producer, hit me up. He said, hey, I met this guy in Austin. He's a YouTuber. Maybe you should check out his channel. So I go on YouTube, looked up Leon Hendricks, and I saw a few of his videos about journaling, about how to be an introvert, and all these other things about succeeding. And I was like, this guy's gonna make it. Why? His YouTube channel is tiny. It's less than 5,000 subscribers. But when this video comes out, I want you to fast forward a year and let me know how many subscribers he has. If he did not have 100,000 subscribers, I would be shocked. The production quality of his videos were exceptional. You can tell that this guy is putting in the work. He wasn't just quickly like cooking up the pancake or whatever they eat in Germany, throwing it out and then hopefully working. You can tell that this guy is dedicated and serious about succeeding. So is the craft that you're actually putting, are you impressed with it yourself? Are you proud of it yourself? A lot of times people don't want to sell or they don't want to promote themselves. And you know what? Because their stuff sucks. But if you're actually putting the time and you create something you are personally proud of, you should be promoting it, you should be selling it, you should be telling the world about it. 2 other things I think we can learn from Leon is, 1, when I see people that are physically fit, I generally would bet a little bit more money on them. And I don't know if this is offensive nowadays or not, but what it shows me is that they have some level of self-discipline. It doesn't mean that you have to be anorexic or totally weird body stuff, but if you have some level of athletic ability, like if you go for walks, if you're doing push-ups, if you're doing biking, whatever that is, it shows me that you can take care of something on a consistent basis because you can't cheat your health. The other thing about him is you can tell that he's enjoying learning and improving, and that's what he's creating his content around. Have you ever seen someone on YouTube and you're like, that person's full of shit. I know, I can see behind them. You can see that Leon is enjoying this craft. He's doing the things that maybe aren't the most popular yet, or the most biggest, but I think he'll dial that in. But he is enjoying sharing the things he is learning, and it's obvious. So for yourself, do you really enjoy it, or are you just chasing some Robin Hood opportunity? Dial that in for yourself. Find the thing that you're like waking up in the morning or going to sleep at night and be like, yo, I can't wait for this to happen. Mama, cook the grits. I'm gonna get it going. So up-and-comer number 4 is Andrew Goseki. I guess one of the secrets of success is having a very complicated last name, but this guy is 31. I randomly saw him on Twitter, and I saw him tweeting all the time. I see him putting himself out there, and then someone actually mentioned like, oh, micro acquire, and then he sold a company, you should connect with them. I talked on the phone with him, and I was like, you know, good guy, really nice dude. Since then, I'm like, oh, I see what this guy's doing. He is amazing, and I think there's a lot we can learn from him. Before I can talk about what we can learn, let me share a few things about him. He started 2 companies. One of them was Business Apps. It was a company that had 10 million in sales. 2014, 58th fastest company on Inc. I don't know if people care about that or not, but that means it's growing fast. And he sold it for 8 figures, aka meaning he could retire to a private equity firm. And then recently he started a company called Micro Acquire, which is a marketplace for buying and selling companies. He's had Naval Ravikant, I've invested in it, Bessemer, Remote First Capital, and a lot of other really high profile investors. Now, what is really interesting about Andrew is that there are certain people that I'm like, they're not gonna stop. You're gonna have to kill them to stop. And I've seen the way that this guy is getting press at all these different stages. He's emailing me saying, hey, I have a LinkedIn post. You're really busy. Can you just click this link and hit like? Now, you have to think about how many other people he's doing that to. He is not just putting something out there and saying, well, I hope it's successful. I hope someone likes it. He is making it happen. And so whether it's gonna be doing Business Apps, which he did, or it's Micro Acquire, he is gonna find the thing that's gonna be working. Now, business in general, it doesn't always work the first time. I've had meetings now being back at AppSumo. I'm like, wow, these meetings are not going well. Guess what? That's great. And leadership and being a part of success is, all right, how do I keep evolving and iterating to make that happen? All right, and up-and-comer number 5 is Justin Mayers. So he is 30 years old. He actually was an intern at AppSumo, is how he got his career started. So he was hired to help build courses when we were doing AppSumo courses. This is many years ago, probably about 8 years ago. But there was something about Justin that I wasn't willing to bet against. And since then, just to highlight a few of the things that he's done in his career since then, he's created a $100 million company called Kettle and Fire. You guys have maybe heard about it. He's been a super successful course creator on Udemy and as well as his own site. He also is the co-founder of Perfect Keto, which is another huge health brand. And he also has a book out there called Traction, How Any Startup Can Achieve Explosive Customer Growth, which is a really good book. So let me distill some of Justin's success. Number 1, be in interesting industries. So Justin was in tech, online learning, early food categories, and so he was around interesting people and interesting things. So even if he did a little bit well in this category, it's a huge ass category, so he's gonna be very successful. As well, put yourself out there. So Justin has been blogging and writing and been on podcasts. He's actually been on our podcast. It'll help you get really good thoughts and clarify your thoughts. But 2, it'll also connect you with really interesting people. With Justin has built up an amazing network for himself by putting himself out there and creating interesting companies. What I want you to think about for yourself is, would you bet money on yourself? And if not, okay, well, what do you need to work on, or who do you need to surround yourself with so you will feel more confident? I would bet on every single one of these guys. And actually, a lot of them I have. I just bet on Justin's new company called HiShirley.com. It's a wine company. And a lot of it with Justin is that he is in interesting markets. And 2, I've seen him continue to keep persevering through a lot of hard times. What are other things of success you've seen from people you admire? Leave that down below. Some exercises that you can take for yourself into getting more success out there. First off is Law of 100. I've talked about this. We'll have it in the video description below. Hopefully on the side is commit to 100. 100 posts, 100 emails, 100 videos, whatever it is, commit to the Law of 100. Number 2, find other successful people that you can be around. Maybe it's on okdork.com/underdogs or private VIP free Slack group. Maybe it's somewhere in your area, but if you're seeing other successful people, be around them. Get that inspiration, get that success juice flowing all over you. Number 3, practice not quitting. It gets boring. It is boring to do the same thing and make videos like this over and over. So 1, you do have to kind of figure out how to keep it interesting, but practice not quitting. Yes, some things we should quit, like smoking cigarettes, and other things you're like, you know what? If I want to be successful, what is the sacrifice? What is the suffering that I'm willing to endure so that I actually can get the things I really want? If you want to hear the advice I would give to my younger self on career choices, check out right up here where I make a video just on that, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on another video. Uncle Noah loves you. I'll see you out there. Pew, pew.